Hello viewers, today for the initial checkout we have a Vtech cordless phone. This is Vtech's 910ADL 900 MHz cordless phone. This is a pretty significant phone in my collection because my mother had one of these many years ago, and I remember using it at the grandparents' house later on, and then the speaker spoiled in the earpiece and we kind of stopped using it, and then years later I dug it out of the closet and fixed it and started using it again. I still had that phone. This one's a little bit different. This one has different branding, and I thought this one was kind of neat because of the branding on it. You know, the cordless phone logo there, the old Vtech logo. And I thought it was cool how it says 900 MHz cordless phone, you know, on the base and everything. The other difference between this one and the other one that I have is this has a rubber antenna. The other one's plastic, and it has the old Vtech logo on it, which is pretty neat. This one is in much better condition. I don't think it's been used as much. There's definitely some wear on the sides, but not anything too excessive. I believe that's the handset volume. This has a metal antenna. I think the other one that I have is a plastic antenna. And this is in the wall mount position. I'm going to change that to tabletop for now. And there's a spare battery charge in there. Here's the informations on the back. Tone pulse switch, and you would need a separate bracket for this to be mounting on the wall. And it looks like it would have originally come with the nickel cadmium battery. Here's the AC adapter. It is the Vtech, the Tropez component telephone power supply class 2. It is the model number 900ADL, and it calls for the 117 volts input, which is kind of unusual. And what also is kind of unusual about this is that the center of the plug is the negative side and the outside is the positive side. Generally, I mean, it can go both ways, it's not unheard of, but generally it's the other way around. The inside is the positive and the outside is the low side. So let's go ahead and plug this adapter in. It unfortunately was made in China, so hopefully it still works. And I'll plug this in here. And it's on. The power light looks pretty good on the camera, but it's nearly invisible in person. And we do have a spare battery charger, so I'm going to see if I can get this battery to charge in there. What side is high? The right side is the high side. Okay, let's see if I can get this to work. I turn the lights off so we can see the indicator. Okay, so in this case I'm having a hard time getting it on there sturdy. Yeah, I don't know if it'll show up on the camera, but the charging indicator light is significantly brighter than the power light. So this probably has quite a few hours on it. So anyways, now I'll close this back up and let's get that battery into the hand to set. Use only Vtech battery, the 8, the 0, the 4, the 0, the 3, the 2, the 0, the 0, the 0, the 0. Oh, I'm not using that battery this time around. I don't particularly like these battery packs. I've never found them like the ones that are supposed to go in here. I've never found them to make a really good connection, and they're very expensive. nowadays. I'm sure they weren't always like that, but now that they're becoming obsolete, for whatever that terminology is worth, they're getting difficult to find at a good price. So I may have to either rebuild some of those packs or just convert this to a different kind of plug. Okay, the buttons seem to work okay. Probably needs to sit in the cradle to reset the code for a little while. And I think we're going to notice here that the charge indicator for the handset is also getting quite dim. And then if we turn the handset on, the in-use light is much brighter. It looks like it's the same indicator light on the handset. I can kind of see the in-use indicator. I can't really see the power light at all. Of course, this is a very, very bright lighting scenario here that we're working under, but I still think those lights are kind of on the dim side. Okay, so the buttons are seemingly working okay. Channel button is kind of dirty. It probably was never used. I always thought this dial pad was kind of interesting because the buttons aren't all the same size. But yet they're still like, it's still symmetric and aesthetically pleasing and easy to use. Okay, let's get the phone line connected here. Okay, and I think this has different ringtones. It's been a long time since I've used this phone and I'm not sure I remember how to change it. Maybe program pawn? Yep. I guess my memory isn't totally shot. I think I used to use number 3. It's the least shrill. Okay. Let's call this telephone. User error. Take 2. No bass ring around this one. Okay, that seems to be working. Let's go to the outside line here. Put the amplifier on. This time I remembered to fiddle with this before turning the thing on so we don't have to hear all that crazy noise. Okay. The receiver cap is pretty quiet. The switch is also kind of staticky and not responding quite the way it should. I'm not sure if that's just the problem or the cap is on its way out. Since the other one did fail, and that's a pretty common thing amongst Vtech, I would not be surprised if the cap should be replaced in this one as well. So it is working, but it's very quiet. Actually, it's not that quiet. I would use it like this. I think it's totally usable still. But it's probably not as loud as it's supposed to be. Okay, now I will call the testing answering machine and record a testing message. First, I suppose we can do a find handset.
Two new messages and 7 old messages. Message 1.
Okay, this is the testing message for the Vtech 910 ADO 900 MHz all cordless phone. I don't know how many channels it has, probably 40, 25. I recall the telephone had a pretty good range the last time I used the other one. It's back perfectly clear down here. And all the way across the phone now. So it's still clear. It's a good range. Okay, go back to the studio now. And I close the squeaky door. And I want to change the channel. Sometimes this causes the message to end. So I'll change the channel so we can try to hear what that sounds like. Just change it once. Again. I'm going to hang up by putting it back into the base.
Message 2.
This will be a hang up from the buttons.
End of messages.
Outgoing audio is kind of weak, but it otherwise did seem to work correctly. So that's that for this one. Needs a fair bit of a cleaning, but it's not too bad. So we'll get this cleaned up. Maybe I'll replace the speaker cap. And it looks like there could be some dust in there, so we'll clean that out. Maybe that'll work a little better. That's all for now. We'll have another couple of videos this one to clean it up, and then we'll have it in the collection. Over and out.